This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Some are the pangolin, I don't know, the rhinoceros, black rhino, I don't know the mountain gorilla, and the boy decided that he doesn't want to do what everybody else wants to do. He wants to be different. Ndio sasa tukaenda kwa pangolin, which are found in Asia. You see, now I know these things.
Yeah.
There are 8 species of the pangolin. 5 of them are almost extinct or endangered.
Yes.
3 of them, the manis is in Asia, and the other one called the schmutzia and the panagothia, I don't know what, are found in Africa. Many of them in West Africa, you'll find a large population of pangolin in Nigeria, and a few of them you'll find in Central Africa going towards the south. How did I know this? Because CBE has subjected us to helping with locally available materials.
Yes.
To help your children.
Within your vicinity.
Exactly.
Use materials that you have at home.
Yani, they've caused us COVID. If he is here.
How did you go about it?
My friend, then you have to make a sculpture out of a plaque, out of locally available materials. Somehow we look for old slippers and get a stencil of the thing and start drawing and then supervising the guy so he doesn't chop his fingers off while he's carving this thing. Then being creative, because this is a K-neck assignment, because it then is counted towards your final grade. So it has to be creative, and he has to translate what is in his head to the thing.
Yes.
There were, I don't know how many of them finished today even. Has to be taken to the school because he cannot go with the bus because he's carrying, I don't know, an avocado plant.
Avocado plant. So you went to Makweni.
It's a different assignment. That's a different assignment.
Yeah.
So now they're planting, I don't know what, showing how plants grow and what turning into fruit. So that one also had to be carried. And then all of these assignments now each have a folder with pictures and drawings.
Yeah. Uzazi ndio.
Wewe. That's where I was. So ask me anything about the pangolin.
Yes.
Or the black rhino. I'll tell you today. If that, is in your field of importance. That's how my weekend was.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Have you seen Evelyn's hair?
I have.
It's very beautiful.
Very.
Umeambiwa tena na mtu mwingine Abbas. Very, very nice. Good morning. And Joylyn is wearing gloves. Is it that cold? Have we reached? By the way, the cold season is here. We told you the temperatures have dropped significantly. So the cold season is here.
Yep.
By mid-June, it's going to be freezing.
It's okay.
But it's okay. This now is the season where I thrive. I love it. Let me tell you, when you're cold, you can cover up. And you can... When you're hot, you will not walk around moving
Let loose.
No, you will not. Hope everybody's doing okay. Welcome to June, where us June babies are getting into things proper. And you cannot steal our joy, those of us who are born this month. Sawa? Coming up close soon.
Don't worry.
Sindo? Okay. Establish that everybody's doing okay. This is the Situation Room. Yesterday was Madaraka Day, celebrations for the 63rd? 64th Madaraka Day. Was celebrated in Wajir County, and the president shed a tear or two because he said the time when the northern part of this country was marginalized has come to an end, and it has happened in his lifetime, and he was moved by emotion on that. Those celebrations took place for the first time in Northeast, in the northern part of the country. So it was an interesting thing to see and an interesting thing to watch. I thought that the opening of that was quite interesting. And while that was happening, still other things happening in the country whereby court orders seem to be ignored completely concerning the establishment of a quarantine center for American citizens who are coming in from DR Congo. Now that needed to be established, that it is not citizens coming from America. It is those who are infected or seen or have displaying symptoms in DR Congo coming to Kenya. There's a court order in place that this should be stayed until the mention is heard today, the 2nd of June. So that's what's happening. I'm just going through a lot of these things today real quick. That's what's happening there. The courts will now hear the side of the Katiba Institute, and we'll see what happens at the end of it because it was filed under a certificate of urgency. While that was happening, 8 girls seen to have been identified via CCTV will also appear in court today. In Naivasha. They were arrested over the weekend because the CCTV cameras footage in the Utumishi Academy identified these girls.
Placed them at the scene of crime.
Absolutely.
Yep.
One of them had been released, but she's been rearrested. And so now that brings the number back to 8. That will be heard in court today, whether there is a case to answer. And we also saw that 3 more girls succumbed to their injuries in hospital yesterday. And so that brings the death toll from this Utumishi tragic case to 19.
Yep.
That's how we start Tuesday, guys. Those are some of the things that are happening. And while that's going on, Nanyuki residents said, excuse me, not on our watch. We are not doing this. You are not bringing a quarantine center here. Yep. And so there were...
You have to talk to us.
Talk to us. But don't even talk to us. Just don't put it.
Just don't put it.
Yeah.
But I loved what the people in Nanyuki did, because they went all the way to the military facility. They engaged with the military men, and the servicemen agreed, and the people went back home.
Yeah.
But they got to the town, and the other side of security police officers, you know what they do? Tear gas all over the place.
They showed their hands. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
So those are the things that are happening those are a few of the things that are happening in Kenya. And we haven't even gotten to coffee time on Tuesday. Many things going on. And so we'll discuss them in general and in detail today. While that happens, the politics are also happening, sprinkling here and there, and many questions to be asked. But if you're not plugged into these conversations, you're doing yourself an injustice. You must be part of the thing that's going to change your country step by step, brick by brick. But you've got to lay something. It's 20 minutes past 6 o'clock. This is a Situation Room. Dennis Tola Seeto. Do a call with you this morning as we get into conversations. Our live streams are up on YouTube, Facebook, and on X. Thank you for joining us this morning. Our audience on KTN, we're delighted that you join us even as we get into things. Some of these conversations will be heavy, but they're necessary that we have them. And it is here that we will have those conversations, regardless of how comfortable or uncomfortable they are. So karibuni sana. And thank you for being with us. We'll say hello to you in just a minute, and then we'll get into what we'll be talking about today. Let me tell you about that real quick. We'll start off our conversations, as you know, beyond this hour at 7 o'clock, where we will be looking into issues around containment or concern. Dr. Davji Atela is the Secretary General of the Kenya Medical Practitioners Dentist Union. Join us at 7 o'clock. The Ebola facility debate, containment or concern. He joins us at 7. And then at 8 o'clock, Jarvis Bigambo is a political strategist. Onesimus Ngoyoyo is the Member of Parliament for Kajiado North. Game Plan 2027 is a recurring feature here on the Situation Room. We'll be speaking for the people, or are we? Let's talk at 8. And then at 9 o'clock, Anthony Moshiri is the Kenya manager of the disaster response and preparedness of the Kenya Red Cross. Lessons from Utumishi Academy. What are we looking at? What should we be looking at? What then is going to happen? We'll talk with Mr. Moshiri at 9. Packed show. That's what it looks like today. So join us even as we do. Sawa sawa.
Yes.
All right. So where did you take us, or where are you taking us this week?
I gotta ask the question, and through that, you will know where we are.
Okay.
Who has the best jollof between Ghanaians and Nigerians?
Hey, God, I beg. See, I don't know. Where do we start? Is water wet? Is the sky blue? Do fish swim? I don't know. How do
Kenyans run?
How again do you want us to?
We're in Ghana.
Okay, so
We're in Ghana.
It's okay. I love the Ghanaians.
Yeah.
I love their attempts also.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I have many Ghanaian friends, and it's a lovely country. Anyway, please carry on.
Yeah, so it's a country that is synonymous. Actually the first country to gain independence in Africa. And you look at Kwame Nkrumah and the statement he made, Ghana's independence will never make sense unless the entire continent is liberated.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about transatlantic trade of the slaves, you know, and what that has done to Ghanaians today. And you look at even Americans finding their roots back home. You know, people going back to find out where we came from and just touching base with Mother Africa. Rich in gold, you know, the reason why it was called Gold Coast, because of the same, and also rich in oil. But one asks the question, why nyinyi watu wa West Africa, mbona hampendi kuprocess mafuta yenu? Okay, now you've started
ni sababu tunataka kukula. How do you say? We want to eat the goose and the egg.
Egg at the same time.
Yeah. Hatupendi watu, tunajipenda sana.
But another sad thing is cocoa, no chocolate.
gold that you have is subjected to a global standard before you can even sell and trade.
Yes.
And it is yours.
It is yours.
Wake up.
Wake up.
This is how you want to get me started this morning. This is how to.
Tunda kwa Proverbs. No.
By the way, if you get a chance to visit Ghana, you need to go and see the conditions under which slaves were held and taken off the coast.
Yes.
Terrible, that you wouldn't even want to do to an animal. And those are there for people to remember that such a thing can never happen again.
True.
But if you get a chance to go and visit, to the point of no return, go.
Yes.
Go.
I purpose to. Yeah. But let's go to the proverb. The lizard that jumped from the high Iroko tree said he would praise himself if no one did. The lizard that jumped from the high Iroko tree said he would praise himself if no one did.
Girl, pat yourself on the back.
Yep.
I just remember a meme of a baby who was trying to sleep, as in she would take her mother's hand and say, Mom, do like this so that I can sleep. Yeah. So give yourself. If nobody is giving you the comfort, the egging on that you encourage, you can actually be your own cheerleader.
Yes.
I think
Be audacious enough. At any given cost. You believe it, run with it, praise yourself. Every step you make, just be sure that every step you make is leading you somewhere, especially if you have it clearly seen, you will achieve it. Yeah, so don't let anyone put you down because they're not saying you're doing well. Tell yourself you're doing well.
So the lizard jumped down from the Iroko tree. Yeah. The Iroko tree, actually, if you think about it, is really tall. It's a very, very tall tree, and it's across West Africa. Now, if a lizard jumps and makes its way to the ground and is still alive, that's a great achievement. Like, hey,
I made it.
Jeez, I made it, guys.
I made it. Yeah.
Hey, Liz. This is Ard.
Yeah.
I made it down.
Liz.
Ard. Okay, anyway. It's true. It's true.
It's true.
I love it. Okay. And that takes us to then say hello to everybody this morning. Thank you for getting into the room with us. Sometimes it almost sounds cliche, but we don't take it for granted that you then, touch that dial or then refuse to touch that dial later. Because this is not just about two people sitting in a room. This is about conversations that affect you today and your tomorrow. So thank you for being here every morning. Joshua Mbaga says, good morning. No live. Iko, tuko hapa. Sorry. Something went wrong. Tap to retry. Did you do it? It seems. Tap to retry every time. Replug, restart. Let's get into it. Good morning to you, Joshua. Thank you for joining us this morning. Kisa Daniel is tuned in this morning. Karibu Sana. Kiaria Peter says, good morning from Mombasa. The hunter who has already shed the meat in the mind will quarrel with the forest when he returns empty-handed. Let's do that again. The hunter who has already shared the meat in his mind will quarrel with the forest when he returns empty-handed. Abi, don't count your chickens before they hatch.
True.
Desmond Ortiz says, Happy New Month. Yes. A very good June to everybody. Unju and Dennis and I. Okay. Charity begins at home while parenting. Also remember to do the roles of parenting like discipline. Mwalimu sio kila kitu. I agree 100%. True. I agree 100%. That even these, look, let's not even get into it right now because we'll never move. But yes, I agree. Parents have a big, not even a big, the role to play here. Wishing you a blessed and productive month of June, says Joshua. May it bring good health, new opportunities, wisdom, peace, and progress in all your endeavors. Happy new month to you, sir. Karibu Sana. Kimiak says, you know what? Nothing good will come out of the Kenya Kwanzaa administration. Happy new month.
Happy new month to you too, Kimiak.
Kimiak, happy new month, man. Boba Coco says, good morning, Dennis and Ndu. Listening from Kendu Bay. Just asking, when the DNA matchup hits the wall, as it's the case on the Utumishi school matter, what next? Well, I think that justice needs to take its course.
Yep.
Yes, it does.
It does.
No
It
sugarcoating here.
Yeah.
When the DNA shows up, and you're going to use that in terms of investigations, and you find something, it must.
It must.
It must. And the same thing that we're saying here, justice, when you talk about court orders and things like that, the same thing. If the court says that you hold on this thing and you're doing whatever it is that you're doing it, then you do what? You hold on.
You hold on.
Leo says, good morning. Hello, Princess Ndu and Dennis. Good morning to you. The quarantine station was passed by Parliament and signed by President Uhuru in 2015. That's 11 years, 2 U.S. presidents and countless Ebola outbreaks. Why wasn't it built? That's a good question. That the agreement to this, if we want to be honest with ourselves, was signed a while ago. But did it mean that it would be, and now it would be interesting to look into that agreement and see whether it said that everything that happens later on would be accepted.
You know, I think even when you look at that agreement alone, right, you have to read that agreement with what then the constitution of the country says. Because every other thing that happens in the country must have public participation. Citizens must have their voice on the same. So if we are finding ourselves in a situation where all this construction is happening and citizens are not being involved, what is greater? Is that agreement greater than the constitution? Is the question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to ask it.
Yeah, you have to ask
definitely
it.
have to ask it. Eric Nganga says, good morning, Spice. We missed you after a very long holiday and the defeat of Arsenal. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, keep it moving.
Finalists.
Okay, so
it was a good game.
It was a very good game.
It was a good game.
PSG came on top, so okay. I thought it was interesting, the play on numbers, that Arsenal won the EPL after 22 years, and this is also the 22nd time that PSG is winning the Champions League.
Champions League, yeah.
So 22 seems to be an interesting number that's played here. Right?
Yeah,
all
but
right.
Arteta should have done better.
Should have.
The deployment of players was kidogo chini.
PSG coach, you have to give it to him.
You have to give it to him. Man.
Oh my God! Plus, his joy after that was just palpable. It was great. Eric Nganga, thank you so much. It's good to have you in the room as well. Robert Nyange tuned in this morning from Bidikani in Voi. Izakali says, good morning, Spices. We have a stubborn habit of surviving headlines that would sink lesser nations. Brighter days may be delayed, Kenyans, but hope has never missed a Matatu in the future. I agree. Mm-hmm. I've said it over and over again. I don't think there's a more resilient people than Kenyans. True. That you get blow after blow after blow after blow and you're on the ropes. Your back is on the rope. But somehow, you get off the ropes. You're like over and over. And then people feel that they can continue to abuse you because of your resilience. Kenyans,
imagine if people used that energy for the growth and betterment of its people. Yeah. Imagine where Kenya would be today.
It's like the fictional boxing character Apollo Creed, and even like his son after that, it didn't matter how many, he came back every time. You guys, it's a good thing, but till when? Is the question. I'm not inciting anybody. Jimmy Monodi says, good morning. Spice, he okayed the American idea. I am disappointed. Yes, he did. He did. And Nashon Gogi says, good morning, Ndu and Dennis. Those girls must be charged as adults, no exceptions. Ndioiwe Funzo. Also, did those kids have any privacy? We appreciate the CCTV, but the location left more questions. Love from Arizona. Nashon Gogi. Yes, we're going to get into it. It left a lot of questions. But at the same time, my mind goes to the pain and the tragedy that these girls who died, and even the ones who were injured, even the ones who had to deal through the horror of those hours of trying to get away from that fire. The two girls who were huddled together, burnt to a char, holding each other in the corner, because we'll say these things. Who atones for their death? They didn't have to die.
There is a Form 4 that has been told who kept on running to the scene to save. And ended up dying in
She died.
Fire.
She was helping people and died. You burn your finger. You burn your finger today, you're in pain for days. This fire burned through bodies until they died. Come on. We're not going to forget that.
You're not going to forget it.
And then you see that somebody was the cause for which they didn't have to? Nah, man.
Yeah.
Let's just say it as it is. Wrong is wrong.
Wrong is wrong.
Leo says, when we as a collective receive a state apology for the plunder, disappearance, state-sanctioned extrajudicial and injustice against Kenyans by state and its actors, might be a long time coming, brother. Eric Owar says, good morning, guys. Good morning to you. Dr. Venvic is tuned in from Tudor in Mombasa. George Adimo says, good morning, Spice family. And Pace Timer, good morning, Spice. First tell me, where does Aseto get these sweaters? Atupe plug wake bwana. Meanwhile, we have 23 such like Ebola facilities in Kenya. Sisi ndio hatujui kufanya research, President. Sarah Rabat says, tuned in, happy new month. His love is everlasting. His faithfulness upon his people endures forever. His zeal for his creation is great. Great is our Lord. Absolutely. Linda Gola, salut mes amis, salut à toi. Merci bien. Jennifer Etienne says, good morning to Dennis and Spice family watching in. Blessed new month to you too. Robert Tobogo's tuning from Mombasa. Christina says, good morning. Luhimbo's from Dar as usual and says, it's sad when you enjoy listening to foreign radios and TV because they somewhat inform you rather than listening to more on locals. Oi, Luhimbo. Sawa. Alex Gyoko says, good morning. And happy new month team tuning from Kitale. Bwangi Juma says, good morning. How are you all this blessed Tuesday? It's Tuesday, actually.
Yes.
But okay, we take it as the first Monday. Happy New Month says, Fiery Red. Good morning to you. And David Mangera says, good morning, Spice FM. Bernard Nyaberi. Good morning, my good people. Now that Kenya has become generous and allowed the quarantine center next, another government will come and ask to be given space to set up a cemetery. And it will be granted. I'm telling you, open the door, anything goes.
Yeah.
Rascodora says, good morning. Always love listening to the hottest show on the north of the Sahara and south of the Limpopo. I think it's the other way. South of the Sahara, north of the Limpopo. Okay. But the best. Asante Sana. Mtuflani says, good morning and happy new month all. We are not okay as a nation. All generations need to seek mental health attention. It is true. Wanda says, good morning, Njwana Seto from Toronto. What a way to start the week. What do you think is going to happen with the Ebola court order? The U.S. aircraft already landed. Tough times call for beast mode. It does call for beast mode. And I think the courts have to pronounce themselves rather strongly here.
Yep.
Because you gave an order and nobody's listening to you. So what are you trying to tell us?
Do they disrespect the court orders where they come from? Because there, when a court speaks, everything stops.
They gave this patronizing statement the other day, like, oh, yes, we are aware that there was something, but we're doing our best to try. Rubbish.
We are
with 3 B's. I mean, come on. Rubbish with how many B's?
Shut up.
Here we go. I knew I thought about it this morning. I said, is there going to be a shut up situation for Aseto this morning? And indeed, there, before we even found, there it is.
No, it's if back home you respect court orders, why not extend the same?
Because they don't care about you. Michael Jackson sang that song and he knows what he's talking about. Jemima says, good morning. Wanaharakisha kujenga quarantine station na barabara madarasa hospitali ndio wana hesitate. That's a good point, my sister. Wanda says, Kenyans are resilient, but aren't you exhausted from all the heavy news? Let me tell you, sometimes we don't say it here, Wanda, but sometimes you look at all of this and your heart is just heavy. And it's heavy. There's too much at the same time. When I asked Dennis how he's doing, I knew exactly how he's doing. But sometimes your heart is just heavy and you don't know, how am I going to do this? But yes, Kenyans are resilient, but your heart sometimes is not just heavy, it's broken. And you have to put the pieces back together every day to try and look sane. Paris Mudhoni says, good morning. My prince, good morning to you too. Everybody, Emmanuel says, good morning. Winnie says, Ruto defending himself was sad. It was sad to watch. Oui. Carol Nyambura says, good morning. Anatupenda sana na tunakupenda pia. It's Jabali says, despite the CCTV, why are the girls made to sleep in the hallway? That's another question.
Do you understand why parents would never be allowed to
Yeah, because if I go into the dorm and I find that my daughter is sleeping in the hallway, I say we are not going to school that day. Do you understand? As per not just me and my daughter, all of me. Because me, you see me now smiling and polite. There are certain things that we have disagreed and we say we're not going to do, we're not going to do. We are not going to do. We take a quick break. We'll look at weather and traffic. We'll be back to look into the headlines and discuss some of these issues in details. Don't go away.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The 2nd of June, and imagine already in June. Ebola Centre, no. That's what's on the front page of Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard. Nanyuki town erupted in protest as furious residents stormed the streets to oppose a proposed Ebola quarantine facility, paralyzing transport, forcing businesses to close and triggering clashes with police and soldiers in a standoff that is fast escalating into a major political and public health controversy. Despite government assurances that the facility and negotiations are above board, more Kenyans are preparing to demonstrate against this establishment. So people have not said, oh, maybe we can. No, people have said no. A celebration in pictures on page 3. It was quite a colorful affair, I must say. So that was interesting. Yeah, it was. It was great to see culture also come out, even in the midst of all of this. Protests rock Nanyuki over plans to set up Ebola isolation facilities. So we did see a lot of that protest yesterday. And it will be interesting to see what we wake up to on this Tuesday morning. Turbulence at Ketraco as search for CEO new board takes shape. Why is there turbulence? Get a CEO and we keep it moving.
Yeah.
No.
Why is there turbulence?
Right. What turbulence? The contract of current CEO and the terms of several board members are nearing expiry. Serving CEO is understood to be among the candidates to have applied for the position. So what's the problem?
So he wants his term renewed.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're facing a major leadership transition hurdle. The contract of the current Managing Director and Chief Executive Director, Anthony Wamukota, and the terms of several board members is nearing expiry, and the search for a new lead, team lead, is ongoing. With the terms of nearly half the board expiring in 3 weeks, the race to recruit a new Chief Executive has intensified. Why is it turbulent? He's understood to be among the candidates to have applied for the position. The current Managing Director wants to be the CEO. Other leading contenders include Kip Kemoy Kibias, Justin Muna, the Acting General for Design and Construction, Samson Akuto, the Acting General Manager for System Operations and Power Management. So everybody seems to be acting at Ketraco.
Okay.
So amongst the actors, somebody wants to be CEO.
Okay.
Turbulence, I don't know why, because I guess that's the turbulence. That the MD wants to be CEO, now you have to look for an MD, and then, I don't know, everybody's acting, and then everybody wants to be CEO as well. And the board is also finishing their term of duty in the next.
Let me ask the question.
Ask.
The term of the current CEO expires in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
And you want now is
and
when
now what you're looking for. Yeah.
Because I'm assuming this position should have been filled like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So that during that period, what we're doing is transitioning and making the new CEO just acclimatize themselves with how things run.
Yeah.
Because now here we're talking about 3 weeks. So you go through the rigorous and turmoil and turbulence, right?
Yeah.
Then you start settling in.
But no.
Anyway.
Why do it early when you can wait till the last minute? Why?
I took on a jokes.
Now, remember how they wanted to increase your NSSF contributions?
Yes.
And we said, what? How? Well, the court has said we're keeping NSSF contributions at 200.
Okay.
Okay? So that's what the court has said. Whether this will be followed, it's a totally different question. Millions of workers and employers escaped higher... Yes?
What happens to the ones that you've been paying?
Thank you very much, my brother. But you see, I was hoping that you would ignore that so that you would give me time to look at the other headlines. I was hoping that you would ignore that. That's why you saw me going very fast. And I was hoping that your coffee had not kicked in just yet. Okay. So we just continue because now, there's a kettle of fish.
Okay.
Right. Child offenders law tested as 8 students are linked to school fire.
Yeah.
The question in everybody's mind that Kenya has a law that if you are under 18, a child in Kenya, that you cannot be tried as an adult.
Yeah.
But the things that you have done or alleged to have done, their nature is described as heinous and criminal. They have a criminal nature.
Yeah.
Somebody has been killed under the penal code. It's a serious crime.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So the question, the Children's Act says a child should not be deprived of his or her liberty. Now, they're being held, and this is one of the things that the parents who came up at the gate of where they're being held in Naivasha came out and said, excuse me, children, what happened to the Children's Act where it says they should not be denied of their liberty regardless? So now in this case where they're held as persons of interest, is the law being broken? Is the law being broken where 8 of these girls, initially 7 and 1 now retracted to come back, are they being held against the law? Because a child is allowed their liberty regardless. Okay? Now, is this one of those? The law is very clear issues. Children deprived of liberty shall be held separate from adults. They're in the Naivasha police. Is there not Naivasha police station? Where are they being held? And those are some of the things that the parents were demanding. If you're above 12 years old, you can be criminally liable. And if you are taken to court, you are entitled to a lawyer, regardless of the nature of the offenses, according to Morris Kimuli, who is an advocate. Anybody who is below the age of 12 years old cannot be criminally liable, meaning you cannot even prefer charges against that person. But if you are above 12 and you can be criminally liable, and if you're taken to court, you're entitled to this. So this can happen. The girls, I don't know their ages. I'm not sure what forms they are in. I guess this information will come through, but it seems as though everything is going to be thrown at them. Now that we see this number has risen to 19, yes. $90 million. So that's the story. It's still hot, guys. And today's the day when these 8 girls will be brought before court. And if their ages are above 12, according to what Wakili is saying here, then the likelihood of them being charged is very high. Looking at other stories, $98 million. $90 million. Try do the math in your head and see if you don't get a headache in the next 3 minutes.
Let's just say it's the same amount that got lost in Shah.
This one is dollars.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true. Because, okay. Shh. Medicaid fraud suspect arrested by the FBI. FBI wamekuja Kenya pia.
Wamekuja.
What's it gonna do when they come for you? One of the suspects linked to a Minnesota healthcare fraud scheme involving more than $90 million, which is 11.7 billion shillings, has been arrested after months on the run. Mohammed Abdul Qadir Omar was apprehended on May 21st following a failed attempt to evade arrest. Police raided an apartment in Minnesota where the Somali national had been living. So, you know how they were looking for that money? Sasa wamepata. Well, they walipata mwenye wana shuku Ali Nini Chukwa. Ama?
Okay.
Lobby groups warn of new nicotine products fueling child addiction. We had this conversation.
Yes.
We were talking about No World Tobacco Day.
Yeah.
Tobacco No World Day. Anyway.
Tobacco.
No Tobacco World Day.
World No Tobacco Day.
Iyo sasa.
Iyo.
But they're saying it's possible that these alternatives is actually leading to addiction in children. So, you might want to ask yourself.
Catch-22.
It's a catch-22, man.
It is helping adults.
But harming children?
Harming children at the same time.
Exactly.
So so one asks the question, what does the law say about access?
Exactly. Who can actually purchase them?
And where?
And where from? You can get them online. Nobody's asking you.
Thank you.
Yep. My friend Gitahi is in the opinion pages this morning questioning the U.S. plan to open the Ebola isolation facility, and that's in the opinion pages. We're also looking at Middle East crisis is a wake-up call for intra-Africa trade. I've been drumming that for a while now. It's also in the pages, handled this morning by Kip Kirui Langat. And how the finance bill debate glosses over important revenue questions. Revenue questions. Where is the money coming from? It's also a chance for you to look into the Financial Standard. Get yourself a copy of the Standard newspaper if you can't get a copy of the e-paper. All right.
Yeah, let's go to the Daily Nation. And the story there is Ruto shield on Ebola. Now, it is a studious silence where despite growing public opposition to Kenya hosting an Ebola isolation facility for Americans exposed to the deadly virus, President William Ruto avoided any reference to the matter during his Madaraka Day address on a day protesters marched to the gates of Laikipia Air Base, where reports indicate installation of the facility is underway in defense of a court order. Many expected that the president would address himself to that because it is a matter of national interest. But I also was waiting for that, but never heard anything to that. Fresh divisions rock Oburu's ODM faction. So you see, in ODM, we have two factions. Now, Oburu's faction, that one which is the Linda ground.
But they said they're now factionless.
They are now factionless. But that faction, either way, that is now factionless, has another faction, has a problem. Has a problem in it. So queries after some senior party officials, including National Assembly Minority Leader Junet Mohammed, skip major Kisumu event. You see, in politics,
Optics, my
optics
friend.
matter.
Yep.
You know, you don't show up to an event where like, were you not invited? Where were you? Are you out on an official business? Were you sick? You know? Those are the questions. So what exactly is happening in ODM, the second faction within the faction? All right. Now, President vows to end exclusion of Northern Kenya. So this is the president has said that Northern Kenya, the days when they would be excluded from development, hizo time zime isha. He also responded to that road. Remember that ile barabara ya kwenda Kutulo? Sijui ya kwenda Modogashe.
Actually, it's true. He said it and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wasn't this road already started?
Yeah. He said it again.
Modogashe.
Yo. Yes, he said he would. We are working on that. Okay. So, interesting things that was said.
Yeah.
Not in our town, Nanyuki residents protest over isolation of a facility plan. You know what? This protest will not be there if only people
listened,
respected the court order. Yeah, so that is on page 2 and page 3 as well on matters to do with the Laikipia Airbase. Madaraka in the North Route apologizes, pledges billions for development. I think maybe it should be the apology season.
To know?
It should be apology season. Apologize to the parents of Utumishi for losing their children. Apologize to the country for capitation delaying. Apologize to the people for their roads not being maintained by roads maintenance levy.
If he's singing that song, it's too late to apologize.
Celebrations marked by calls for peace, discipline in schools as well. There is that. And on page 6 is the pictorial of the Madaraka Day celebrations. Across pretty much the country, we see different counties as well on how they celebrated the day. And state doing little to curb femicide. Yesterday, there was a protest march in the CBD. Yeah. Protesters criticized the government for not taking any action to implement task force recommendations. You remember last week on Friday, we had that discussion on task force in the education sector that were never implemented. Yeah. There is another task force that also came with a report, and implementation remains.
See, while they pay 100 million at different counties, they set up a tent in the different counties and said they're doing femicide awareness. Ama?
Beyond setting tents, nothing to show. Yeah, so why faction chose to drop Linda Ground? So it's an explanation on why that happened. So their rallies were once grand spectacles of political theatre, awash with orange hues that adorned podiums, campaign caravans, and branded merchandise. But as internal wrangles deepened, the once vibrant gatherings gradually thinned, while the frequency of meetings dwindled dramatically. So, you remember when you were being told, Sisi ni ODM, Linda Ground watcher, seemingly there was a problem within.
At that time.
So this thing of Sisi ni ODM, we are only, it's a decoy because there is a problem that has not been addressed yet.
It's true.
Interesting. It's called the political silly season.
Yep.
ODM Jamboree exposes cracks in Oburu's camp as well. So that is in page 10. And in page 12, lobby seeks 20% tax increase on cigarettes and nicotine pouches. So they talked about it last week as well, where we found out that the sin tax that keeps on being added on cigarettes and alcohol as well. Here we see lobby groups asking or requesting for additional taxes on the same. So that's what we have here on the Daily Nation. You could look at the Star.
Oh, real quick. Oh, shout out to Cosmos. Cosmos was in Wajir yesterday, of course.
Yeah, and Nasra.
Nasra, a.k.a. Grace Nganga.
And Shamim, a.k.a. Sheila Kidis.
Cosmos has come back with tales of yore.
Yeah.
Cosmos, don't worry.
Saw a spider.
Saw a spider and decided other processes would not occur as a result of seeing the spider.
Okedi decided to postpone remainder one, Tapeleka Nairobi.
Exactly. You may wonder who those are. Of course, our brothers and sisters right here in the Standard Group who then were part of the crew that were out in Wajir over the weekend into yesterday. On the front page of the Star, excavators roar as 272 billion shilling JKI expansion begins.
But that design looks beautiful.
I wouldn't lie, man.
Nice.
That design, if they can pull it off and it actually happens in the time that it said it's going to take, according to the Kenya Airports Authority,
it looks nice.
It would be great. It would be great. It would easily be one of the best in East Africa.
I'm also hoping it would be as busy as we are seeing it. Yeah. All those planes packed. That would mean good business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It looks good. It's the first project to be financed under the Infrastructure Fund Act. Come on. So, look at Denise is looking at. It's not, I've read the thing. You see, me, so man.
Allah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Infrastructure Fund in Nafanya Kazi. What? Moving on.
Okay.
Of course, talks about Madaraka Day. Event signals a new era for Northern Kenya is what everybody's saying now. A man jailed for 15 years over fatal radio fight. A man who stabbed his neighbor to death after a row over the sale of a radio has been sentenced to 15 years in prison. Peter Kirei was initially charged with murder but entered a voluntary plea bargain agreement reducing his charge to manslaughter. The court heard that on the 20th of July 2024, Thiga was at his family farm at Thogo in Kivere village within Tharaka North sub-county when Kiri arrived with 3 other people, one of whom carried a radio. Figure expressed interest in buying the device, but Kiri insisted he could not have it. An altercation followed, and Kiri produced a knife, and stabbed Figure in the chest. He died instantly. Ololo.
Radio ni yangu.
Ni yangu, unataka kununua kilazima.
Nimekwambia siuzi.
Alafu?
So unajam.
Alafu unaniua.
Okay.
Radio nina? Niana?
Ni yangu.
Yeah. Okay. So now, you're going to cool your heels for 15 years because you couldn't just walk away.
Yeah. You couldn't just walk to the next electronic. Yeah.
Uko na pesa juu unataka kununua hii. You're right, by the way, Dennis.
Maybe all you need is to buy an earphone and plug it in your phone and you have a radio.
Yeah. So, my friend, that diet for the next 15 years is not going to be
Or you
fun.
could talk to us and tell you to just download the Spice FM app on Google Play and listen to radio.
Watu wa commercial wanafaa kukuona because the plug is fantastic. Nimeona hasa kama ulikuwa unasikia somehow you're doing very well this morning. Kenya now on high alert as Camry tightens Ebola response measures. And people who may show up in facilities with these symptoms are asked to be extremely careful and report it immediately. Immigration status notwithstanding, whether you have immunity because you're carrying a certain kind of passport does not matter. And if people need to be careful in terms of vigilance, this disease is not a joke. It doesn't come and ask you, can I come here? No, it doesn't. It gets in and it causes havoc.
There is that story. WHO warns against use of Kenya-tested Ebola virus vaccine in current outbreak. If we've done the research, we've tested it, we've said it can work, why is it a problem? Must it always come from that side of the world? Because seemingly that's exactly what we're being told. That any research, any development that is coming from the continent is not good enough. I'm sorry, that is the optics that you're getting.
That is, the thing is that the problem with a lot of these statements is that they come couched in very fine language.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what they're telling you is that yours is not good enough because it was not done by us.
Yes.
And the minute we're able to lift the lid on a lot of these truths is the time that we will actually start to free ourselves from this nonsense that happens globally. And that's all I have to say because it's 7 o'clock.
Spice up your life. The latest news from around. This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your day.
5 bob